Hi everyone, welcome back to another Red Dev Cycle video for Paper Red and the Spirits Inc. Today we are going to be going over the farming area and talking about the farming minigame that's going to be present within the game itself. Now, I am a big fan of farm games. Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons, they're all some of my favourite games of all time. In fact, I would probably say Stardew Valley is probably one of my top 5. And one of the things that I really wanted to have present in the game was some sort of bonding system, something that you can come back to. Because we're only doing chapter 1 on Dreams before we take it elsewhere to make it official, I wanted something for dreamers who come into the game. They have something that they can consistently come back to, work on, keep them playing, keep them entertained, so that it's not just kind of a one and done situation. Now you'll see right now we're working on some of the farming assets that takes place within the specific area. I wanted the kind of biome to be a wee bit different as well, to show that you're kind of in, you know, a different area. So we're just kind of working on some of the things. What you previously just seen was me adding kind of fallen leaves to some of the grassier areas, and now we're actually just finishing off the farm door, which is basically just an area where you can go in to look. I'm not necessarily sure how far we'll take the functionality of each building. I have been toying around with the idea of having your own little house on the farm that you can put money into to make more interesting. But I'm still kind of working out the kinks. The good thing about Dreams is you can prototype a lot of ideas without really being kind of stuck down to anything really. So here we're just finishing off the farmhouse. So yeah, the farm area is basically going to work as this. Essentially you will do like a quest for the farmer. You'll maybe find some cows for him, that sort of thing. Then once you've kind of rebuilt the farm, got the cows back and stuff like that, he'll say, oh, do you want to take care of the cows? And you know, that'll kind of start off your little farming adventure. Again, it'll be completely optional. You'll get some cool badges and some cool rewards for doing it, but something that I just personally like to have in that isn't necessarily necessary. And yeah, I really love this haystack. I like the art style of it. It looks really smooth and stuff, so I was actually really happy with how that turned out. So I wouldn't necessarily reveal too much about the actual farming minigame itself, as I'm actually still trying to figure it out as I'm kind of going along. Again, the great thing about Dreams is you can really kind of pilot ideas and then kind of, you know, pivot on them quite quickly without too much work on either end. But yeah, so right now we're just working on the assets. I'm really happy with how the farm ends up looking. I spent a long time kind of trying to make it look cozy, trying to make it look fun, and our good friend Salt, who does the music for this game, he's actually already worked on the soundtrack for the farming area. It's really nice, it's really chilled. If you're a fan of like the Stardew Valley style music, then you're absolutely going to love what Salt's done with the music as well. Here we're just making one of our wee windmill type things. For people who don't necessarily know what Dreams is or how Dreams works, you've basically got two versions of things you can use to build assets with. You've got paint, or you've got sculpt. Sculpt obviously being the kind of thicker 3D thing. Paint is always 2D, unless you spend time and make something 3D. I really like the flat colours that paint brings to certain assets, especially for this project, because Paper Red is such a unique art style. Anyone that's ever played Bug Fables or Paper Mario will can attest to that. It's very kind of, it is actually ironically flat colours, and that might sound boring, but it's the kind of shading that you do that makes it interesting. And when you're using sculpts and then interloping that with the paint, that's when you really start to see something special. So obviously the building is going to be made out of a sculpt, the windmill in the background, as you can see, that's going to be made out of paint, and that's going to give it a really unique look. Right now we're just giving it that box effect, kind of cardboard edges. It turned out really nice, giving it some nice kind of shading and stuff so that it's not just too basic. And then of course one of the most important things is outlining everything in black. This gives it that really unique kind of toon style effect, almost kind of like cell shading, but without, you know, going too crazy on it. The kind of black outline really does make everything pop, which is why I tend to do it on everything. Some things that I like to kind of keep in the background, I will maybe not give a black outline to, or some things that I want to be there but not necessarily pop in terms of something for the player to actually focus on. And now we just begin the assembly. This is one of the most beautiful things about Dreams, is how fast you can assemble a level. So as you can see, most of our assets are just above us. We've made, you know, the barn, we've made some kind of grass areas and stuff like that, some fences, but just looking at this, how quickly you can go from having nothing to having a farm set up. I know we're speeding it up right now, but you kind of get the idea of, like, you just grab in place, something that a lot of proper professional tools don't actually have. I would probably say one of the coolest things about this area is it actually made me realise how I wanted to do backdrops for areas that you could see previously, or areas that you have been previously. A lot of the areas so far, when you've been going left to right that I've created, the camera never really allows you to see where you just were. But because in this specific area you've went from up to down, which means the camera's kind of facing where you just were, and it made me realise, like, oh, now I need to kind of build the backdrop of the previous area, and that's actually what we start to do now. So you'll notice that we've actually got, you know, the background, the clouds and the you know, faraway stuff already sorted. We're basically building the area that you were just in, but I'm trying to find a way where you can't necessarily see all the detail, like too much of it, because that will start to eat up your thermal. And for people that don't know what thermal is basically the limitation of how much you can have in one scene. If you'll notice at the bottom left, that's your thermal. The middle one, which is full and brightly coloured right now, that actually means that the detail is at the max, so we can't necessarily add anything else without going above that. It's an easy fix, so you don't need to, like, worry, like, what you see now is what you're getting sort of thing. As someone that kind of knows Dreams and kind of knows how to work their way around this thing, that's all fine, so don't worry about that. I don't even know why I brought it up, but so yeah, the way we're doing the backdrop here is we're basically just making it so that everything is silhouetted. That gives it a much more kind of interesting feel to it. You have actually previously seen the area where we were. It was the Wildlands Part 1, with the kind of the river coming down and you run across the bridge, so you can actually watch that in, like, a previous episode to kind of see, like, the culmination of that. Here we are, just seeing Red run about, seeing how it feels with the fences now in place. Then we start adding in a wee bit of kind of rocky terrain to kind of block out things that we don't necessarily want. And then we're working on the more of the backdrop. So previously you could see the kind of cabin just before you came into the farm, so we're working on that. And that's pretty much it. The farm has been upgraded since we recorded this, because I record and edit at completely two different times. This is Red just kind of showing off how the farm looks when we finished it on stream, because I do stream these. But yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you like the project so far. If you want, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye.